You finally saved enough to buy your first rental property. Congrats, but now you have no idea what to do with it. This is the exact step-by-step playbook that I wish someone gave me before I bought my first rental. If you don't know me, I'm Antonio. I own 18 rental units in 3 different states, and then I have 4 flips going on in another state. There's usually 2 different types of investors that I come across of, and I have a school community with over 3,000 investors that I've helped to buy their first rental. It's usually a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, we have the YOLO investors. These are the people that don't really care and they want to invest and they don't really know what to do, so instead they just jump right in. And usually when they jump right in, they make mistakes and then they end up having to learn the financial way. Or there's the people that are in analysis paralysis, okay? A&P. And these people are too scared to make a mistake, and so they don't do anything. Instead, they keep trying to learn and be here. Most people are somewhere on this side of the spectrum. I'd say like 80% of people are here, and then 20% of people are here. Now, we want to prevent you from being in either of these categories, because if you go on this side, you make financial mistakes that cost you money. And if you go on this side, you spend thousands and thousands of dollars on books, coaching, courses, seminars, and you never actually end up getting started. And instead, you end up just sitting around and waiting. So I'm going to guide you step by step right now to help you buy your first property. And so step number 1, can't spell step. Step number 1 is learn how to spell step. Step 1 is to prep financially. All right? And this step is usually the longest step for most people, but investing is something that comes after you have money. Okay? You can't invest something that you don't have. Now, technically you can, and especially with real estate, but when you're starting out, you need money. That's usually the case. And so, what do we need here? We need your FICO score to be 660 plus. The higher, the better, because this is going to help you get loans and get lower rates, okay? That's going to be really important for you to find properties that are cash flowing. The second thing we want to do is pay down debts. These are things like student loans, credit card loans, car loans, alimony, that kind of thing. We want to pay this down because the more debt we have, the harder it will be for us to save money every month. Not only that, the less of a house value you can qualify for if you're using a conventional method. And then the third thing is to save money, right? Because again, like I said, we need money to buy a property. And so most people get stuck in this phase of saving and waiting. I'm going to teach you the 3-step formula that you need to be able to get out of that. So step 1 is figure out where you will buy, which is what we're going to cover in the next step. But let's say you buy properties in an area where home prices are 100K. All right? Step 2 is you need to know what kind of loan you are going to use. Most people are going to use one that puts 3.5% down or 20% down. Let's assume 20% down. So if you put 20% down, then you need $20,000 for your down payment. The third thing is you need closing costs. That's about 2 to 5% of the purchase price of a house. And so we have 5% is $5,000. So for a $100,000 house that you're going to keep these assumptions, you would need $25,000. So that's going to be your savings target. And that might take you 1 to 3 years to do that. That's okay. That's normal. It took me 4 years and I had a pretty good job. So if you haven't done these 3 things, hold off on investing. Don't buy anything. Don't join my school community. Don't do anything because it doesn't make sense for you to do that. You want to keep saving and keep waiting till your debts are paid down, till you've increased your income more, and over time, your credit score has gotten improved. Now, while you are saving money, you're going to need a place to put it. And I recommend you take that money and save it in BaseLane. BaseLane is an integrated banking and management platform for your real estate. You can organize your banking per property under one login and track how your rental properties are performing, automate your bookkeeping and rent collection, and also create leases, apply for loans, all in there. It's what I use in my rental property business. To sign up, use the link in the description. So once you've done this, the next step is to pick a strategy. There's 3 main strategies I recommend you go with as a beginner. There's gonna be 3 that I'm gonna tell you to likely stay away from for your first property. The first one is house hacking. House hacking is when you buy a duplex, okay? Let's say a duplex is a house with 2 apartments. You're gonna live in one side and you're gonna rent out the other side. So let's say your mortgage is $1,500 and the rent you collect is $1,500. You then get to live for free. The best part about this is that you can put 3.5% down to buy this property. And so it's a great way to get started with low down payment and start reducing your rent, because if you reduce your rent and you save $1,000 a month on rent, let's just say, and now you're putting it towards a mortgage, well, guess what? You actually have, you're building equity, and it's a house that's going up over time that eventually you'll be able to turn into a rental. So it's a great way to get started for less money down. The other thing is a long-term rental somewhere nearby that you can manage, or you get a property manager. And a long-term rental is when you put 20% down and you rent out the property, and the income has to be greater than the expenses. And then the last strategy I'd recommend is an out-of-state long-term rental. If you live in a market that's too expensive where you can't house hack or do long-term, you're going to do long-term out-of-state. Now, the 3 strategies I would tell you to stay away from best to worst: Airbnb or short-term rental. This one's not that bad, and I almost considered putting it in here, but it's just a little bit more complex, more work to manage and all that stuff. So as a beginner, you might not be wanting to do that for your first one. And especially right now, it's a little bit more risk reward. The next one is flips. Flipping is a little bit more complex, and it's better to be closer to the property so you can check up on them a little bit more. And then the BRRRR strategy is one you probably heard of a lot. You don't want to do that for your first property because it's combining flipping and long-term rentals, and the formula becomes difficult to satisfy because you have to find a property that's good for this and good for that. So you're going to want to pick one of these. If you're planning on investing nearby, you could pick this or this. If you're planning on investing out of state, you're going to pick this. These 2 are really the same strategy. You just have a property manager, you manage yourself nearby. Now, step 3 is picking a location. So once you have the strat, you need to know where you're going to do the strat. We don't just pick locations blindly here. We pick locations by looking at data. Pick a city. So when I started out, I was in New York City, and home prices were so expensive over there. And in all honesty, guys, you can't invest in places like New York. Home prices are too high and rent prices are too low. So here's the reason why. Again, the formula is income minus expenses. Well, if you live in a place, your income is your rent, okay? And if you live in a place where home prices are expensive, the biggest cost to you is a mortgage. Well, if the home prices are really high then the mortgage is going to be really high. If the mortgage is really high and that's the biggest cost and the rent is low, you're going to lose money. But if the rent is high and the mortgage is low, you're going to make money. This is where we want to be, in places where the rent is high and the mortgage is low. This is known as the price to rent ratio. Right now in America, not a lot of cities have this. So it's important to find the cities that do, because they are going to be the ones that you have the best shots to invest in. This is the most important factor when trying to find a rental property, because these two are the biggest numbers. But the other data you want to look at is an area safe? Does it have jobs? You look this up by unemployment rate. Does it have people there? Are people moving there? Right? That's pretty important. Safe, jobs, people. We want to find low property taxes, because taxes are the second largest expense to investors. And then 6, you want it to be landlord friendly, meaning the laws back up the landlord. When you have these 6 things and the price to rent ratio is good, first of all, it's not going to happen that you have all those things at the same time. That's very difficult. Instead, you're going to take these 6 things and use them to help judge against other cities. So what you're going to do is come up with a list of cities, and you're going to find the data for each one of these, and then you're going to pick one. Just like I helped one of our current students, Eric, pick Scranton by doing this process. He wanted to find a place where the price to rent ratio was good. That's what happens. And so then when you do that, you go into step 4. Which is call a lender and get pre-approved. Here, what we want to get is a piece of paper, okay? And on the piece of paper, it tells you that you can get a house, let's say up to $400,000, based off of your financial situation. And so what you do is you call a bank, okay? Or if you have a base lane account, this is perfect. They have it built into the platform where you literally apply online, you fill out your information, you tell them how much you make, all these things, and it gives you a pre-approval letter. And at the end of the day, the pre-approval letter will help you go to an owner of a house, go to a real estate agent and say, hey, I want to buy this house. I'm pre-approved. It makes people believe that you are credible. Without this, you will be seen as a tire kicker, and it's not good for you to be that way. So make sure to do that. And if you can't get the pre-approval letter, then that means you need to go back to step 1. Do better preparing yourself financially. So, how to find them real quick. You're going to go online, type in credit union in your area, or you're going to go to a bank, look up mortgages from banks, and I'm sure you'll be plenty of ads on that. So once you get that, then you need to start looking at houses and running the numbers. I already broke down the formula for you on how the numbers work, but my shoulder really hurts. So you're going to first go to look at houses. So you're going to use the 1.25% rule, okay? This number changes. A few years ago it was the 1% rule, because that meant that the house can rent for 1%, the monthly price can rent for 1% of the price of the house, then that means it will make you money. Right now, because interest rates have gone up and taxes and insurance have gone up, it's about 1.25. So we need the rent of a property to be about $1,250 if the property value is $100,000. If it does not meet this rule, it probably will not make you cash flow, okay? So if you're looking at an area on Zillow and there's no houses that meet this rule, that probably means you need to find a new city. So you need to go back to step 1. So as you're looking at houses, you're going to do this 1.25% rule. And there's going to be a button on the bottom of this page that says call agent. Okay? This is a very simple way to find an agent. If you want to do your research to find an agent, you can go on Zillow's Best Agents or Bigger Pockets. They have real estate agents on there that are investor friendly for your review. But if you want a simple one, you do this, you call the agent, you tell them the pre-approval, you tell them what you're looking for, and they're going to start sending you properties. Then, once you do this, you're going to go see houses, whether in person or on FaceTime, okay? So in this step, you do that, and then you go see houses, and then you run the numbers again, okay? So you run the numbers again based off of what you see in the house. And at the end of the day, you're going to do what step 6 is. You're going to do this a bunch of times. You're going to run the numbers on a bunch of properties because that's one of the biggest skills as an investor is to be able to do that. Step 6 is to make an offer and close. So usually it's you see 100 houses, you make offers on 10, and you get 1. This is kind of the formula on how it works. Sometimes it's 210, sometimes it's 50 and 10 and 1. Usually it's a little bit different every single time. So don't be stuck to that, but don't think that every house you go see is going to be the one you buy. You're going to have to go see a lot of houses before you do that. So in this process, you're going to have to get an inspection. Well, you don't have to, but I highly recommend you do. You call an inspector, the real estate agent should have one, and they're going to help you get the house. Once you do the inspection, you're going to call the bank and tell them that you're buying a house for this. You're going to send them the purchase and sale agreement, all these things, and then you're going to be able to, they're going to do an appraisal, which is going to tell you how much the property's worth. You're going to do some negotiating, probably. Negotiation here. You have to get insurance on the property. I use NREIG for that. NREG. And then you're going to get a manager. Okay? I don't manage my own properties. Then you're going to close. And then you're going to take this money and put it all in base lane. Okay? And so just to summarize, your action plan will be first, do an analysis of your financial life, okay? You need to figure out how much you spend and how much you make. Then you're going to cut out things and figure out ways to save. Then you're going to pick a strategy, pick a market, get pre-approved, look at properties, make offers, and take that money and put it all in the base lane where the link is in the description. And if you want a more detailed version of this, you can click the video on screen right now. It's a 4-hour course on everything I just talked to you about.